Hello everyone. Here's a 3T. I mean triple T USK and where's the epics? Oh, here.
Yes, I'm here.
And we are both of us are come from the mysterious Chinese Minecraft mod community. Yes, we are weird guys, especially me. I'm still a student. I played Minecraft 3 years ago, and I played I played Industrial Craft after about a couple of months. After a couple of months, and since then I just play modded Minecraft. I'm not good at meme, neither pawns, but I'm good at my math. Any questions? So let's just start. First of all, let me talk about a real story happening in the middle of May. Anybody can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, continue. One of my friends talk about translation of the IC2 experimental for the 1.8. I think 1.9 IC2 for Minecraft 1.9 is not a thing at that time. He said he found a thread on Chinese forum, and the thread released a copy of a new translation for the IC2 experimental 1.8. That sounds great, but the question is that there is a reply to the thread that said there is already a native Chinese part. Obviously, the poster was unhappy about that, and reply with him with all kinds of stuff like the screenshots where he took when he was working on that, and he said he finished this translation based on a Chinese site of mod documentations, and he said he almost he literally stay up late for that to finish that. Well, that's just a part of the iceberg. It is really a typical Chinese translator who only posts a thread of a random Chinese form and release a language file and just disappeared. I'm not saying that it is not great. After all, translation is always welcome, but what most of them will do is put the language file into the mod jar directly and post the jar itself. Yes, my point is repost. I bet. Just a quick question. How many people here have heard of the stop mod repost campaign?
Me.
Wait. I mean the stop mod reposting campaign. Yeah, stop mod repost.
Yeah.
Okay, but even though we have most of mod license under under sort of permissive open source license, we do however come to some of us do however come to CurseForge or somewhere else to download the mods directly from the author's link. That's just my personal random thought. But the core question is that if someone knows how to translate English to Chinese, how come he or she didn't submit the localizations to authors directly? My answer for this question is good catch. 3 years ago, 3 years ago when I started playing Minecraft, I started to know something called the repost. Post that literally means that someone downloaded the mod from the other website and make a post introducing this mod and provide a mirror download link for our Chinese players to download. Have you heard about those? Why we provide a mirror link? The reasons of why we provide a mirror link is very complex. You may heard about some of them, but have you heard about those reasons or not? I want to talk about the translation in a nutshell. Not usually appear as a small thing. So does this small group, relatively small though. Minecraft mod is always mistaken for most of Chinese players because they play vanilla Minecraft most. Back to time when people confused about installing Riscami's mod loader, or when they found they could not use industrial craft and buildcraft together. It's just Minecraft mod just toys for a small group of people. Until we have Forge and more packs, and since 1.6 we have the Forge installers because of the big change of Minecraft itself. But the question is that prior 1.6 server modes are not localization friendly. I'm pretty sure some translators use tools to edit the binary file directly because guess what? I still have a copy of local translated .craft for the Minecraft 1.5.2. That version has only simplified Chinese support because it is made from editing the banner file. I mean the mod jar itself. So it can no longer provide the English support. Internalization supports become friendly in 1.6 when Mojang changed texture pack to resource pack. Since then, we have mostly unified the language file format, which is much more friendly than the XML format, I believe, because XML is just tons of tags, and sometimes I spent half of a year to translate Rika's chromatic craft, and many times I break the XML tags lots of times. Just a side story. Rika's rotate craft used to break because of the broken Chinese localized manual. But one day I recalled that thing, and I dig into that and found that one of the formatter was broken. Someone I don't know who typed only one percentage mark at the end of the line, so the Java thought the new line mark was a type of formatter. I never got my point. Anybody?
We're just quiet. Yeah, I understood the point.
The formatter broken, and I just told Rikas to fix that, and now everything was fine. Another important thing is, as I just said, repost. Stop mod repost campaign recommend people to use the official link, but many times I suffer slow internet speed when accessing crossroad or curves. So So does other Chinese players, right, Epics?
Yes. How to use proxy to download many files. Dropbox, Google Drive.
We do need a very fast mirror link, and that's why we still have many file reports in Chinese forms, because it just so sucks. Well, I will come back to talk about it later, but let's keep going on. Most got development fast since 1.2.5. Unfortunately, I haven't played 1.5, modded 1.2.5, and 1.4.7. That's when I started to play modded Minecraft with Industricraft, Buildcraft, Realcraft, Forestry, and I believe it's Red Power 2. And 1.6.4. I just skipped that version and I jumped into the 1.7.10. And now we get BTM. Time goes by, and a small part of this Chinese modern Minecraft community became nuts. Part of the nutshell. I would like to welcome Epics to present his stories, thinkings, and ideas about what's going on in our mysterious community. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Sarita. And as open computer, is it useful? Is it broken again?
Yeah, it's still loud and echoey.
It's broken.
It's one block
It's
of
not
the screen.
broken, it's just kind of loud.
Is it possible to use? I want to show off one or two files on the screen.
I don't know, either way, you can continue. I just wanted to let you know in case it was something you knew how to fix and it was obvious.
Okay. So I will talk something specific about localization process. First off, let me tell you the basic format of localization files in case you haven't touched them before. Common Minecraft mode bundle localization files in JR files like 3 task set, 1 language per file. The file name of localization file is languagecode.lang. The language could indicate what language localization this file have. Localization files are plain text files, and each line is one localization item in a format of k = value. So, can I use the screen now? Yes, it's something similar like Java properties, but not really. I've looked into the forge code to see how it loads the language file, but it just recognizes the =, not the other space or other things. Yes. Can I use the screen now? Oh, okay, can I use the big screen now?
Should be able to. I'm just trying to get the program running.
So, like I just said, language files are plain text like this one, en_us.lang. And each line is one localization item in a format of k =. when the game is asking for the localized name of a block or a piece of tooltip or anything, it will look up the name of block or tooltip in case of localized file and display the relevant value. So let's take the English to Chinese like an example. So when a translator wants to contribute Chinese localization to English mode, what he should do is copy the English localization file and change the name of it into Chinese localization file. Then we got the ch_cn.lang, and this is a Chinese localization file. Then translate every value into Chinese, only the value. Next time, when the game asks for Chinese name of a block, the game will look up the name of block in the case of Chinese localization file and display the value. Since the localization file is in plain text, it's okay to edit it with any text editor. First editor come to my mind maybe the Windows Notepad. Well, yes, but it can't even recognize Unix line ending or handle the file encoding well. Using an advanced editor like Notepad++ or Sublime Text may be a good idea. They have a good control of line ending and file encoding. But when it comes to really big modes, here comes another problem. The localization file of Greek text 6 has about 40,000 lines. An individual translator can hardly make it. As such, there is a demand for collaborative editor. Etherpad Lite is a web-based real-time collaborative editor. It's easy to set up on any server and anyone can use it with just a browser. So it also has a built-in chat function, which make it easier to communicate. Well, I know you guys like IRC, and Chinese user has QQ as their instant message tool. So though text editors is good enough to edit localization files, it's still not a decent solution. Translators using a text editor must be careful to only change the localization value after equal sign. So when an editor using just text editor, you may facing a problem. You cannot change any of localization key or the equal sign itself, or boom, it won't work. And if a mode updated, and you need to check out which line is added, which line is updated, and which line is deleted. We've written several scripts and solve these problems. Auto check which line is added and edited. They can adopt old translations automatically into new localization file. And you may have heard crawling. Crawling is a web-based localization tool. Minecraft uses crawling. Minecraft Forge uses crawling as well. So does the Curse app. But when I facing the problem, I found another two localization tools, Weblet and Portal. Weblet and Portal are similar to crawling.
Why can it frozen? Everything goes fine.
Weblet and Portal. These are two separate tools for online collaborative translation.
Why the can it still
So Weblet and Portal are similar to Crowdin, but they are open source, so anyone can set up an instance for oneself. They are softwares focusing on computer-aided translation and has all the good features mentioned above. They both have terminology function to ensure consistent translation. So why we need that? When working on Greek tag localization, I found there are so many cross-mode integrations. So here I introduce a new problem, glossary. Many mode items, for example, Samyam from Samcraft, is shown in many other modes like Greek tag. If someone translates Samyam in Samcraft into word A, another one translates Samyam in Greek tag into word B, does this make confusing? Player won't know whether these two items A and B are relevant or not. To make translations consistent, I wrote a spider script to download all the modes on curse and import their localization file as known translation. Then when I translate an item like Samyam plate, the weblet or portal will suggest a known word Samyam in case I invented a new name of it. Currently, many modes put their localization files alongside with source code on GitHub, Bitbucket, or any of those. Weblet even has built-in Git integration. Translators can log in, use GitHub account, and after pushing localization files to GitHub, their contribution will be recorded correctly. Well, I'll tell you a story about me. Like I mentioned above, teamwork is needed. I used to work in a Chinese localization group called Infinity Studio. And here is the general workflow. First, members find modes need to be translated and get permissions from the mode author, fork GitHub repository, or create one. Then set up a new project in Weblet and invite members to sign in with GitHub account or just name and email. Then they do the translation job. Comments for each translation item are available in the process, and we use instant messaging software a lot. Finally, after translation and review, the weblet sends pull requests to the original mode repository or distribute language file in another way. But there are still shortage. We only set up one translate server for our Chinese localization team, and use a naughty way to collect glossaries. Well, the spider, I just download all the mode files. I hope that it's not called a denial of service. Then, and then when a translator wants to, and I hope there can be a much larger collaboration across the localization teams and language, or even integrate with curse or the M-cube. That will be another panel. So I want a larger collaboration. Imagine when a modder who needs translation and when a translator want to contribute, there is always a ready-to-use platform for them to start a localization job immediately, and as well as a known trustworthy glossary. No need to use Notepad, no need to learn about the format of language file and the equal sign, and no need to worry about glossary. Just do the translation and spread it in modes to every single player. Okay, that's my hope and my plan. And for wild future, let's ask 3 tasks back to Mike. Thank you. 3 tasks.
Hey, I'm here. 3 tasks online game. Well, I made a crazy decision while I was still in my final week in school that is holding this panel, and not everything becomes true. Yeah, there are some personal ideas about the future of this weird mystical community. First of all, I bet some of the audience have got a pull request from either me or other translators because of a weird project called the Trailblazer of Magnum Opus. Anyone? Okay, but while my game is stubborn extremely lag now, I will continue. But such a project conducts a whole new project out because we have get some trouble when translating several high frequently appeared words like inventory for holding items, tank for holding fluids, and something like quantity and well, I can't remember confusing with sneaking and press right shift. They are actually pressing shift and its player sneaking are two totally different things in Minecraft source code. I have read. I'm also a modder, and I'm writing. And one day while I'm writing mod, I noticed that they are actually different function, but well, based on my experience of translating mods, seems like you cannot distinguish them based on the context. So just confused me. So that guy started a project that said just unified the glossary word as Epic said, and provide a reference menu for those translators from the future. That project is now available on the GitHub, but it's all in Chinese. So that's not very useful for your audience. Maybe I bet there are some Chinese audience in the here, but well, I don't know who they are, but I just continue. Another idea: separate translation out, then merge them into resource pack. It's something I have started to work on in last July. I was inspired by very famous Russian translators. Vextos, you know who he is. A very famous Russian translators GitHub repository, and after that, I went to Minecraft Wiki, read the article about the resource pack, then I made one on my own. The reason of I'm doing so is the same as I mentioned before. Simply putting a language file into the Mojang makes it redistributing modified binary file. That's what most translators used to do because of the very sucks internet speed, and this is also a reason why many of the translators open tons of GitHub pull requests It's always better because they believe it's always better to have support by its own instead of manually putting them in. But also another advantage is that if you have a resource pack, you will get internationalization support without modifying the binary file. Sorry for such a long word. Internationalization. That's actually what I'm trying to avoid because I'm using a MacBook and simply putting a language file into the jar is actually hard for me. I have to type the command because I haven't found a very good app to do that. Third one, wiki translation. For for anyone who don't know, I'm still a translator on official FTB wiki, but recently I become inactive on wiki because of the huge translation project for the BTM. Okay, back to topic. Why wiki translation? For now, we have lots of in-game manual translated materials and Lexica Botania, Stemnomicon, the Draconic tablet, the root tablet. Oh, sorry for the root tablet. I haven't submitted the translation yet, but soon. Yeah. Also, the actually edition user manual has localized. I think it's 90% of them. But someone points that that has flaws, so I will come back sooner or later. But some mods may have neither fully documentation or any sort of in-game manual, well, in Chinese. Examples that I can recall right now are TerraFirmaCraft. I used to play TerraFirmaCraft for a couple of months. It's very challenging. And Greek Tech 5 unofficial experimental. I even don't know the progression of the Greek Tech 5 unofficial version of the experimental version. Obviously, we always have documentation of the English version first. Now here comes the question: what if players have bad English level? Here comes the necessity of translation. So based on such a thinking, I will still consist. Wait, is it so crash again?
Yeah.
I will consist on official FTB wiki translation project. I just need more people. I just need more people. Because currently there are only, I think it's only me. For server online.
What you're saying is you need more people to help with the translation of people's mods.
Correct. I used to on January I posted a thread in a transform, and I did get lots of people, but they have schoolwork, and so did I. So time goes by and they all despaired. So the next ideas I came out. Actually, it's not my own idea because a couple days before the BTM, one of my friends came to ask for advice on a totally new topic called modpack translation. Yes, you hear correctly, modpack translation. Here, modpack translation indicates that the whole pack need to support the internationalization, including the modpack specific content, like we all know that the HKM quest description, and probably the FTP artist guide, and even some custom manual mod like the library mode of marine culture. What's that called? The library mode for the marine culture?
Enchiridion.
Yes, that one. Sure. So as I said, such a modpack specific content should support translation, or even better, multilingual. Like we can switch language. Like we can switch between different languages. As I talked before, translation for mods usually involve with post. So, like we always suffer bad internet speed. So here introduce another problem: reposting a modpack. Are you nuts? Oh, climb down. Imagine that here's a man who is not good at English, and he's playing Infinity involved expert mode, or regrowth. You will probably get into trouble when progressing, and that's it. Something that pops out when a pack goes international. Well, this idea is still in the factory of dream because because it's very huge, and he said he has a team which has already worked on that, and what I can only say is just good luck to him and to them. Last one, a mod pack platform. For now, mod pack distribution in Chinese Minecraft form is still weird. I mean, besides those launchers like FTB, like Technic, like AT Launcher, like Curse, those mod pack creators do it via online storage, like sort of Dropbox and Google Drive, but it's our Chinese site, and in Chinese we call it a net disk. So we will upload the whole pack to online storage and provide a link for download. However, the question is that neither FTB, Technique, AT Launcher, Curse have very good speed for when you use it in China. So, and even worse, the Chinese community doesn't have such a launcher like FTB or Curse or Technique, which can download the packs by just pushing one button. So here comes the necessity to, and here comes the necessity of such a launcher, because making pack by oneself often involves with using outdated mode due to lack of information, because many Chinese players many of the players who don't have good high English level have to rely on the reports, and when that happens, they might get outdated mods and weird crash report due to the outdated mods, and then the consequence might be just drop the mod or just say it doesn't work, I won't use it anymore. Well, that's cool. That's totally destructive. That's something like, well, so we need a launcher for those who are not good at making a pack. That's still something like shooting the moon, because the platform involves with more weird crazy stuff, like we need to rent a server, and we need a web developer who are expert in JavaScript or something of that sort, and we need to design it. A black hole. This is still in the factory of dream. Well, I think there's 10 minutes left, so now it's a free asking time. Welcome to ask any questions, but we cannot guarantee that Alex or I can understand all the questions. So, welcome.
Question.
Yeah, any questions?
For people who have made packs or use mod packs, and they want to contribute to the language in the mod pack, how would they start? So,
wait, can you repeat again?
People who make mod packs or mod packs want to contribute to another language that they know, or another language that isn't available. They want to make a language translation to allow those people to play and to enjoy the same experience that they do. How would you recommend those people start off?
Proceeding them to work on the translation.
Okay.
Well, my headphone is somehow bad right now.
I have a question.
Have you had a lot of cases where people propose really bad translation where PRs are similar? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I got one last year where I was. I think that's July, but that's not a very. That's not a bad translation. It's something about signing your name in the language file. This pull request appears in the appears in the Wazakis, Botinia. So if anyone interested in, you can find it out. But the core problem is that that guy at his credit at the beginning of the language fields, which makes many other Chinese translators very angry, and they got into an argument on GitHub, well, finally resulting in a drama. And moreover, they actually talked on GitHub in Chinese. So after the pull request is closed, no one knows what actually happening before that. So as my friend requested, I made a very long translation to the whole thing and reply them so that anyone saw this where the pull request can see them. So that's one, and another one is I think it's in the April or May when this time it's draconic evolution, and those guys didn't submit the draconic tablet manual translation via GitHub, and after I look at it, they got wrong encoding. They didn't use UTF-8, which will cause problem on MacBook like me and Linux users. So I just get extremely angry and ask someone else to convert to the UTF-8 encoding and send the progress, because I was still in school at that time. I think it's it all the time. Otherwise I will just negotiate with them. Somehow a way I will get it. Any questions? Or any questions?
Oh, I have
a
question.
Okay, ask.
So you've talked about making English mods and localizing them into Chinese, right?
Yes.
Do you ever translate Chinese mods to have English localization, or do you not?
Any of Chinese translated mods?
Yeah, translating Chinese mods to English.
I will see Academy Craft. Have you ever heard about them?
Okay.
Because the developer of Academy Craft are actually Chinese people, so they have to make the English language file by themselves, since Academy Craft is based on Japanese. It's based on the Japanese anime, so on the other side, they also made the Japanese translate. They also made the Japanese translation by themselves, so it's lots of work. And since I mentioned the Japanese translation, so I have a very small suggestion. That is, can anyone here invite the Japanese modern Minecraft community to the BTM? Cause in the Chinese forum there are also reports of Japanese made Minecraft mod. So this is a more mysterious community for me as well.
All right.
Another question.
Any question is okay.
That you've translated?
What?
What's the hardest mod that you've translated?
Chromatic Craft. I started last November and I finished it this June. because of the huge menu, I have to play the chromatic craft, and after that, I have to admit that Rika Class K is a genius. After I played the chromatic craft. Also, the second hardest one for me is Make Horizon, which is somehow stopped updated. And the also is inactive. And I think I started in the last. I started Make Horizon in last February, and I finished it in last May. So it's actually 3 months. Any more questions? Songcraft's book, well, Songcraft book sucks in terms of translation. What's better in your opinion, an incomplete bad translation or no translation at all? I prefer the no translation at all, cause incomplete or bad translation misleading people, and the incomplete translation, well, I have OCD.
Also, incomplete translation can make people angry.
Yeah. Any more questions? There's no more question. I will call it end. This was so stuck. No. Oh no! Why get? How come there is an entire team for Chinese translators? How do you find each other? Well, there is an instant message software called QQ, and it's the first one. It's the first one used in China. So usually translators are all in groups and even team, like Epic said mentioned before. The Infinity Studio is the team Infinity Studio is actually started from a group of localizers and mod reposters because they saw there is a demand. So they believe that working as a team will be much better than working individually. So, well, as I mentioned, as I used as a title, translation in a nutshell, I want to use a nutshell. Not only I want to make a very short panel, but I failed to make it short. But also this is a very small community, so basically everyone know each other. If there is a new guy pop out, you will recognize it immediately. Well, I used to work I prefer work individually, cause grouping work on mods will cause still different, especially in menu, like someone like a different translator has different style of writing articles, and when translating the same problem will pop out. So when there's a manual, I usually to do it by myself, like chromatic craft. That's also why I spend so much time because schoolwork. Because I have to do work first. Also, a side note, a side note for you guys who are making mods. If you see someone claim that he's from China and he want to repost or he probably will see carry or he will see transport that all actually means repost because we have the bad networks bad network situation and we do need a mirror. Any more questions? Anyone? How many modes have you translated? Well, I haven't counted. If you can open a browser, just search it on GitHub. Just search it on GitHub. Search author colon 3TUSK. You may find the answer. What translated mode seems to be most popular in Chinese? Industrial craft. When you mention a mod to Chinese another Chinese Minecraft player, banana Minecraft player, the first few things that will pop out is machines in industrial craft, guns in flash mode, the cars in flash mode as well. Or actually, it's an extension pack, but never mind. I think we'll pass motion frame in Red Power 2 and the zippering mod, which is already dead in 1.2.5 and now it's Archimedes goods, I think. So I believe that's industrial craft and also stonecraft. And maybe Greek tech when mentioning industrial craft, but well. Well, I don't know the exact answer. It's just my opinion. Oh, you're welcome. Any more questions? I think there's a Chinese Minecraft player. I mean translator. Someone joined the game and I think it's called Andy Storm. There, I haven't updated IC2 translation in a year or so. Well, I just made a one for the Trailblazer of Magnum Opus. But it's still on my desktop and not uploaded yet. And it's for Minecraft 1.9, not 1.10. Also, a question for Wax Toast. Do you still remember Frogcraft? That SE2 and Greek tech add-on? Just a sad news. Just sad news. I'm working on a mod called Fork Query Burst. As the name indicated, it's just a rewrite the Forkcraft based on Forkcraft to, I think I started it in 1.7.10 and last week I used 1D to port it to. I used 1D to kill 1,400 compile errors to port it to 1.10 and now I think now it's working. I think now it's working pretty good and just a side note, I updated the language file as well. So if you have time, please consider. Thanks. And I plan to make a Forkcraft 2, which is very highly focused on the chemistry engineering. And just a side note, for the railgun and the Academy windmill stuff, I consider those two as redundant to Academy Craft because I consider Academy Craft is a continuation for the Forkcraft's reference to that Japanese anime. So just a side note, I have removed them. New entries should be available. Well, I will double check after this panel. I will try to make Forkcraft even harder. Like just make it really, just try to make it focused on chemical engineering. The left-out journey, I'll try to do it when free. Thanks for support. Any more questions? Also, a side note is it's 10 minutes more than the estimated time. Whoa, how many people are there? I hope the Academy Craft to be in the next BTM and also the custom steel, which allows the player to use the standard to substitute their player model with a 3D model used in Miku Miku Dance. Well, that's extremely fancy. If you want to get more info, you can go to FTB Wiki. I have written a page about that. Just caution, it's very fancy. Too fancy to afford for me. Also, if you want to play it, it requires advanced graphic card. Oh, my computer is lag again. No, this laptop is actually, I think it's 6 years old, and the fact that it's still running perfectly with the BTM mod packs really surprised me. I won't sleep this night because I'm shocked. Really tired. Any more questions? Well, sorry for the advertisements. For both custom Steve and the official FTV wiki. And FTV wiki is also welcome for more contributors because it seems like some of the mods like factorization. I think it's really extremely like the documentation. So welcome for those who has much free time. I don't want to say Toho again because it consumes a lot of my time. Yeah, same as me. Actually, this year I will be a high school senior, and which will be a last year for my high school. So just extremely hard year for me, both in real life and in Minecraft world. Questions? Always 15. Always a quarter of 1 hour. Can we call the Stack Overflow error? Any more questions? It's still lagging. I think there's no more questions, so let's just call it end with this pink flamingo. Wait, where's the flamingo? I just press the red button on my mouse. Where is the pink flamingo? Oh gosh, my client is stuck. Oh, flamingo. So that marks the end of this panel, which is 15 minutes exceeded than the ETA on the BTM website. Sorry for that first, and hope everyone have a good day and have a good night if you are in the same time zone as me, and and good morning if you are just wake up and have good lunch if you are in Europe or somewhere. Well, I just greeting every time zone.